Hello again, people at home and around the world. We are back for another fun-filled day inside the Noman green screen hangar for day 2 of the ZBrush Summit. We are sitting here with, actually it's really a special occasion in this regard. I'm sitting here with my former fellow teammate, Thomas Roussel from the French Quarter, and I'm here with Cki Vang, an old-time friend from a European encounter that we had some time ago. It's good to see you again in the flesh. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I think it was a very sort of, there's some advanced functions in there, I think, for some of the people who are new to ZBrush. They may think it's advanced, but I think that you're doing a great job of simplifying some things and making some really nice-looking forms happen. So, great presentation.
Thank you so much.
I want to start off talking to you a little bit about something very important. Let's discuss the Sculpt-Off. You participated in the Sculpt-Off here,
yes.
And what was it like for you to compete and work inside such a high-pressure situation?
Oh, it was a good experience for me. It goes. It works.
Yeah,
okay.
Pardon.
It was yes, it was a bit stressful to manage your sculpting for 3 hours because I like, if you know my works, I like to push details, and it was not easy for me to manage the time. And as well the render with keyshot, so not very easy.
Quite difficult is how it's being framed here, and that's why I asked you the question, because you have a body of work that is especially detailed. I think that it's safe to say that the details are par excellence in your work, and all your works are very, very refined. I have to say that it's very sharp stuff. The thing is that when you get into the Sculpt-Off, I think that you saw, or you felt maybe as well, there was an intense pressure building up because of the time constraints. A lot of times I like to frame this for people when speaking about art. I like to think that there is no time frame. You could be working on a piece for, if it's your personal piece, of course, for as long as you like.
Yeah.
This is certainly a public piece and in a different kind of space. So you did feel some pressure in that regard. À français, c'est vous?
Voilà, du fait qu'il y avait quand même pas beaucoup de temps, do it in French.
Yeah, for all the people at home in France.
Voilà, du fait qu'il y avait quand même je dirais beaucoup de pression, il y a quand même un temps qui était très très court, donc pousser les détails, sans compter les artistes effectivement à côté. Voilà, donc c'est vraiment comment tu as géré justement tout ça, quoi.
And how do you adjust for that as well?
Yes. How I manage? Good question. Basically, I like to proceed by step before to put details, and how I did. It's not easy.
You had your ID in mind already?
Yes, I have my ID.
Okay, so you definitely are working with a concept in your mind that you've already established before the thing starts. What I want to get to is the psychological aspects of how that process comes to life in that kind of situation is what I really want to know.
Psychologically nervous, like here.
Yeah, nervous. I bet this is what I'm getting at. Yeah, it's quite nerve-wracking to be even here right now, right?
He was.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. You know, there's, like we say, we're broadcasting in over 150 countries with hundreds of thousands of viewers around the globe. Hello, all over the globe. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and she's feeling the heat under the hot lamps here in the hot seat. That's fine. We'll move on. Were you listening to any kind of music, headphones, while you were sculpting the Sculpt-Off?
Yes, I listen to my music.
What is your musical choice? People want to know. What's the magic?
Really?
Yeah, of course, they want to know.
And
It's part of the process.
a lot of soundtrack from movies.
From movies?
Yeah.
Oh, really? What kind of tracks from movies?
From movies like Terminator 2 or Avatar.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Hey, let me ask you a question. Speaking of movie soundtracks, have you ever heard the movie soundtrack for There Will Be Blood?
What?
There Will Be Blood, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. Do you recall that film? It's based on a book called Oil by Upton Sinclair. And
I think the French name is different.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we have the bad habit about changing.
Well, yeah, you
movie
had a lot of bad
names in
habits,
French.
the French.
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, that's a whole inside joke between us, right? Canadian and French people, we get on. What is it called in French?
I see what.
Trivia question for the day. Paul Gabriel in the main screen hanger. What is the name of There Will Be Blood in French is the question that's being posed here. ZBrush forever. Anyway, the score, the musical soundtrack was produced by Radiohead's own Johnny Greenwood.
Radiohead.
I think you'll really like it. The guitarist from Radiohead made the soundtrack with some symphony and such. So I think you really like that one as well. We can talk all day long about soundtracks. Sure. I mean, what about Heat? The movie Heat, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer. Great soundtrack.
Yes, a lot of there are a lot of super music which inspired me, and I think a lot of artists here.
Yeah, me too.
You too.
Included. Yeah, of course. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, music all the time. Yeah, put the strange object
I'm
closer to
sorry.
your face is the joke of the day. Yes, put that strange object closer to your face. Wherever I go, it never fails. Hello again, people at home. So does the music frame for you sometimes, or the design? Does it have an influence on what you design?
Absolutely. It inspires me a lot.
So it's safe to say that in some cases, we're getting a visual representation of the psychological sort of processing of the music through you.
Yes, the feeling is very cool with music.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And sometimes I get really electric. I get to play. I just took up the ukulele the other couple of weeks ago. You know, little mini ukulele. Please take the microphone, Thomas
just
Pixelogic
a little bit off topic things that we have on Spotify an official Pixelogic soundtrack playlist just about moving scores. Yeah.
This is fantastic. People at home, let's say it again. For the people who look straight into the camera and tell them at home, we have a Pixelogic Spotify official soundtrack. That is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, with something like 3,000 music. And because at Pixelogic also we are listening a lot to movie soundtracks while working, which is perfect.
Yeah, it's a really great sort of mix. Hey, speaking of pressure, you've been a ZBrush beta tester.
Yeah.
And describe your experience from inside the clay.
Inside
the clay. Translate this. You know what I mean. Okay, let me. Yeah, it's a laugh-a-thon in here. First interview of the day. Here we go, Mr. Tucci. What I'm trying to say is, you worked from the inside of ZBrush, very intimate space with beta testing.
Exactly.
And describe your experience on the inside of the digital clay. You know, what was your experience like working with the team?
Oh,
there you go.
Super experience for me.
Yeah.
Because
it's going to have you.
And it's a great opportunity for me to explore, to develop, to find a solution for my kind of style. I really appreciate to be part of this beta testing.
Yeah, you had a really key image as well. It's being used to advertise the latest version of the software, the mech gun thing, you know, it's shaking along.
Yes,
and so the other thing is, in that regard, you actually stated in a previous interview that your passion was zapped at one point, and you decided to work to reinvigorate yourself, your career. And basically, do you feel that there comes a time when an artist should move into management to fully understand the workflow? You have a very long career, of course.
Yes, exactly.
And so you've grown into management, and then at some point lost some feeling for the art because of the managerial role. And you can answer this in French, and you can translate it in English.
I understand the question.
Yeah, I want you to tell the people at home in French. I don't want to lose anything here.
It was not easy for me to realize that, you know, I worked for long years, for several years.
Yeah, many years.
Yes. And people see you as a 3D generalist, so to switch to 3D concept designer, it was totally different. And for me, it was not easy because people see you like that. And
they have a perception of who you are. Yeah, it's the same with a lot of things.
Easy.
Yeah.
So,
like we know each other from some different costumes too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, we're all wearing different masks at different times. Yeah, you understand. Showtime.
But yes, I met ZBrush artists. They convinced me to switch to ZBrush and use ZBrush. There was Olivier Thiel from Luxembourg, Pascal Beaulieu from Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Nice shout out there. I like that.
Thank you, guys. And Julien Nicolas from France.
So you were introduced to it by friends?
I
by
think
word of mouth?
I'm
Yeah.
grateful I met this ZBrush artist.
Yeah, same here. A friend of mine, Roger Houchet in Toronto. He's my
Toronto?
friend. Yeah, he's my friend in Toronto. He introduced me to ZBrush in the basement of his house. Hey, Roger. Yeah, he's also of French origin. So we all have this in common. It was, I blame the French.
Yes.
You know. So it's nice to hear that we have this word of mouth sort of community. It's always been that way with the ZBrush. How does your managerial experience, being a manager, how does this affect your working relationship with artists and colleagues?
Oh, good question. Can you
It's
translate?
a serious question, right? I mean,
Comment tu fais pour gérer justement le fait que tu bosses justement tout seul?
because you have been both.
Avec les-
Right?
Ah,
It's
okay.
just working freelance and
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
but still
feel
interacting, right?
alone and
yes, it's not easy sometimes because I work alone and I need to push myself each day because too much pressure to be sure to have a job or yeah.
Yeah, parfait, monsieur, parfait.
Good.
Yeah.
And it's very different compared if you work for a company. The
Like on site.
mentality, yes, the
Yeah.
mentality is different.
You have to self-train, right?
Yes,
To work out, you have to draw
work.
inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't be tired on Wednesday.
Uh,
You have to keep working, right?
yes,
Yeah, all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, self-motivation. That's a big thing, actually. It's a
Yes.
big topic of conversation to be able to be self-motivated.
Exactly.
It's very difficult. It's like I said this morning, I started the program off this morning saying that the 11th sit-up is the hardest one. You can get to 10 all day long. It's how much energy do you have to do the 11th one? You know, you say, can I get to, most people are counting in their head, you know, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, oh, 10, I'm finished. Well, I say do 11. You know, 11,
Yes.
11 is the magic number. 11 is the one that counts, you know. It's how much energy, how much energy
Yes.
do you have, you know. I think that that's very important.
It's super
Hey,
important.
so tell us about your personal work. What are your long-term aspirations where the personal work is concerned? What do you have in mind for the longer term for Cki Vang, the brand of Cki Vang?
My brand, Cki Vang.
Yeah. See, always the marketing team, right? Now you sit with the marketing team. This is
Qu'est-ce que mes aspirations?
c'est quoi ton but pour aller de l'avant, pour montrer, comment dire, ce que tu vas être à l'avenir, qu'est-ce qui va t'inspirer pour aller plus loin, vraiment ton but, on va dire un peu.
My goal, my ultimate goal.
yeah, long term for now. In this incarnation of yourself, where do you see yourself going the highest limit?
The future? Oh, it's I think
It's fair to say you can think about it. I mean, this is, if you haven't thought about it, it's time to maybe think about it. Hey, we're managing the brand here.
for the moment, all I want is just to develop my style and
Okay. So you're in a
push
period of
myself.
self-development and
Yes.
growth.
I think my style is not completed.
Okay, so you're searching for a new direction, a new style.
Exactly, I want
and
to-
when you're ready, you're gonna drop it on the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You need North American representation. I mean, I'm kidding. The other question: how does 3D printing factor into your design workflow now? Are you thinking about 3D printing?
3D printing,
Est-ce que tu penses à...
yes.
Et qu'est-ce que tu penses
For the
de-
future, yeah, I would like to try to print my models.
Yeah, I think they'd be very
So
successful. That's why
super,
I'm asking.
Yes, it's super interesting to touch your models. So for me, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, to feel and look at them and hold them. They're very
Yes.
wonderful, sort of refined pieces that have a lot of details. I think collectors and fellow ZBrushers around the world will probably be very happy to have one of those on the desktop. The other thing is, do you have any intentions actually to branch into VR, into the VR experience at all?
I would like to try, yes.
Yeah, I
sure.
had that feeling because I was looking at some of I was poking around on the internet as I'm known to do. You know, if it's out there, I consult the Oracle. So what are you thinking about that? Where do you see yourself going in that vein?
My points about that.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Where would
I
you
never
imagine
tried.
yourself?
I never tried this technology,
Not yet.
but I would like to try because a lot of artists told me I should to try. Maybe the next year I'm going to try, but no, I have no idea how how it works exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But there's an interest. Hey, so you know, it's really fascinating to have you here today in this particular situation because you are in a period of almost like incubation as an artist right now, trying to find a new kind of voice. It's very rare that you get a chance to have a public appearance from someone who's in that place. How is that playing into where you'll go next design-wise? Is this experience having an effect on your aesthetic? On your decisions you may make, or have you thought about that at all? Being here in this very creative environment, how will this affect your? Yeah.
Avec cet environnement justement, avec tous ces artistes-là, tu vois d'autres personnes, est-ce que l'impact est à voir sur la suite?
Yes, too much pressure. No, here it's interesting. It's a very good place. I met super huge artists and
Yeah, there's some big names. Is what I'm
yes,
asking. Yeah, some
and
big names.
it's the good place. Yes, I'm usually it's not in my habits to meet artists, so it's different.
You're not very social.
Yes, I'm not. Yes, social.
Yeah, he's not the most social butterfly, is what he's saying.
I'm
And
sorry.
no, don't be sorry. That's fine. There needs to be a reclusion in order to sort of spread the wings. I think that the most important thing is that you're here with us live on the floor and giving of yourself, like most members of the community. And we're very grateful.
Yeah.
We're very thankful you made the trek all the way. Where are you living in France?
Near Limoges.
Near Limoges.
Limoges.
So to the people, yeah.
Limoges.
Limoges. It's near you or no?
2 hours and a half.
Okay, so are you friends there at all? You get
No,
together?
this is the first time we met.
First.
He came at
Maybe
home
you can
before.
meet in the middle. Maybe maybe you can meet in the middle. What do you think about that? You can have a more intimate.
No,
relationship.
in fact, just this is off topic, but not really off topic. But I organized already some ZBrush. How can I say that? Not really meet up, but
User
to
group.
go in a bar and just discuss between artists and
Oh.
stuff like that in Bordeaux. And yeah, I need to think about doing more because people are very happy to meet other artists, discuss and exchange. And something that people online don't really see, that the ZBrush Summit is, yes, we have all this presentation, but we have everything which is outside, and just the talk between each presentation and meeting with people, showing your work and exchanging. Or yesterday we've been at the Star Wars Cantina in Hollywood and discussed with artists. It's really great place to exchange with artists.
There's a tremendous camaraderie associated with it. I'm going to quote my friend and yours, Joe Mena, who's sitting out there in the audience. Hey, Joe. He said yesterday there's a tremendous camaraderie at the ZBrush Summit that is unparalleled and unrivaled in any other situation. I think not only on the stage are the people witnessing some great stuff like we just started off day 2 with you, Cki Vang, but outside on the parking lot here, on the grounds, all over the grounds, in any nook and cranny where you can find a quiet space, there are other ZBrushers and artists of all walks of life from different disciplines, jewelry designers, fashion designers, product developers, 3D printing companies, as we mentioned. You know, everyone's favorite tool, the Wacom product line is here, represented heavily. You saw, and you were using on the stage there, their 27, the 27Q from Wacom. Wow, we've got it all here. And I think that the conversations that are born of this environment are wild. For me, it's a special, special occasion, and I think we're very blessed to have this kind of opportunity. I'm happy to hear that on an international scale, Thomas Russell, marketing brand director of Pixelogic at this point, is facilitating an international European meetup. So it's, you know, to all the people watching at home in French and around the other parts of the world, stay tuned. We may be coming to a town near you before it's through. The other thing that I was going to say is I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's nice to see you again. And we've got a lot of action, fun-filled stuff going on throughout the day here. There's going to be prize giveaways all day long, so make sure to check it out. To the people at home who are watching at home, next up we have, you're going to stick around, of course. We've got a wonderful duo coming up from Marvel Studios, I believe. So it's, you know, again, when we're looking at the prizes in the background over here in the background, it's just, there's one thing after another. Do you have anything that you'd like to offer as final words of feedback or advice to young people trying to work remotely?
Yes, be curious.
Be curious.
Yeah, it's important.
Be curious. I like that.
Yes, around you from if you want to develop yourself, you have to be curious more, and don't be afraid to do fails. So,
Okay.
don't stay in your safe
stay, yeah,
Don't
exactly.
don't stay in a complacent zone, and those are fine words to send us off back to the main stage inside the Noman School of Visual Effects. On behalf of myself, Louie Tucci, and Cki Vang, and Thomas Roussel, Pixelogic's own Thomas Roussel, I bid you adieu until later, my friends. Back to you, Paul, in the main.